not two, not one. Our body and mind are not two and not one. If you think your body and mind are two, that is wrong. If you think they are one, that is also wrong. Our body and mind are both two and one. The most important thing in taking the Zazen posture is to keep your spine straight. Your ears and your shoulders should be on one line. Relax your shoulders and push up towards the ceiling with the back of your head. And you should pull your chin in. When your chin is tilted up, you have no strength in your posture. You are probably dreaming. Also, to gain strength in your posture, press your diaphragm down towards your hara, your lower abdomen. This will help you maintain your physical and mental balance. Your hand should form the cosmic mudra. If you put your left hand on top of your right, middle joints of your middle fingers together and touch your thumbs slightly together, as if you held a piece of paper between them, your hands will become a beautiful oval. You should keep this universal mudra with great care, as if you were holding something very precious in your hand. Your hand should be held against your body, with your thumbs at about the height of your navel. Hold your arms freely and easily and slightly away from your body, as if you held an egg under each arm without breaking it. You should not be tilted sideways, backwards, or forwards. You should be sitting straight up as if you were supporting the sky with your head. This is not just form or breathing, it expresses the key point of Buddhism. It is a perfect expression of your Buddha nature. To take this posture itself is the purpose of our practice. When you have this posture, you have the right state of mind, so there is no need to try to attain some special state. The most important thing is to own your own physical body. If you slump, you will lose yourself. Your mind will be wandering about somewhere else, and you will not be in your body. We must exist right here, right now. This is the key point. You must have your own body and mind. Everything should exist in the right place, in the right way. Then there is no problem. Our body and mind should not be wobbling or wandering about. In this posture, there is no need to talk about the right state of mind. You already have it. This is the conclusion of Buddhism. So first, some announcements. August 2nd, there is a memorial celebration of life for Barbara Spain. And it was sent out to the whole Sangha. So
you want me to say something about it?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, It was sent to the Sangha by the family, an announcement about it, and I'll be there representing Dharma Heart's End. It's also for a very extended family. But please, if you are going to come, go to that announcement and RSVP right away, because the family is trying to figure out how many people will be there. Mm-hmm. And if you can't find the announcement, but you want to go, email me, and I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Maybe I should start with, I'm gonna, well, let's see, where should I start? Where should I end? Let me keep going with this. I want to thank Debbie and Ellen and Beth and all of you, but for last week, the talks about sanctuary were, by the time I finished listening to them, I was moved to tears. I'm just so moved by the expression of practice, and that we're all finding some way in this time to bring forward our body and hearts and minds that is to the very best of our ability, and as ongoing practice to not one, not two, as how do we live this in this time, and do no harm, and also when something is harming something, find a way to say stop. So anyway, thank you. Way-seeking mind talks. This is great. I gave a little thing on Tuesday about it, and actually one new person stepped up. I sent out to some people, although it could be to all of you, about way-seeking mind talks, which we're going to do in, I think, late August and into early. Anyway, it'll come up. It's coming up in a while. But if you would like to do a way-seeking mind talk, or if you don't want to do a way-seeking mind talk, but because the request is there, stay close to it and meet whatever fears come up or resistances, and honor what's true for you. But if you're scared, that's okay. That's appropriate. The only way through is through. So if you would like to give a way-seeking mind talk, first time is a wonderful way for the Sangha just to get to know you. Second time or third time is a way to bring yourself, because that's really what happens, is the question of what is this life and what is this practice. How is it turning in you these bodhisattva vows in this practice in this time? So it's an offering to the Sangha, and I understand if it's scary. Trust me. The only reason I can sit up here is because I've been scared to death my whole life and decided I just didn't want to live that way. So you just keep saying yes. Pepperwood. The announcement went out yesterday we're doing Friday to Sunday is the sesshin that includes a half-day sitting and the Chukaya ceremony Sunday afternoon, and both parts, the sesshin and the half-day sit, are now full because we have a cap of 25. And there'll be a wait list, and we all know things can change.
Is the Jukai itself full?
No, let me, and the Jukai is open to everybody. It's just, there's no cap because we're doing the Jukai outside in the Oak Grove at Pepperwood, which will be beautiful. I think many of us know that Susan White's beloved partner, Carol, died. Was it Friday? Saturday. Yeah. Susan felt like it was too much for her to come and be part of Sangha today, but she's going to come afterwards, and she and I are going to meet in here. So I was thinking I'm going to try to, because she wants to see people, she just wants to take care of herself. I'm going to try to end a little early, and if people can want to help focus quietly and diligently on cleaning up, and also going outside to greet Susan if you'd like to, and then Susan and I can meet afterwards here. Okay?
Chris, excuse me, I just wanted to announce we will continue chanting in Japanese tomorrow at 11 o'clock at my house in Santa Rosa. So email me if you need directions.
I think it's so amazing you guys do that.
What do you chant? I forget what you're chanting.
We've done Naihi Shindarani. What were we?
Show sign me up, didn't you?
Yeah, I think that's what we're adding this time. Yeah.
We're going to turn professional, and then we'll have to do something to mess it all up again, so nobody thinks they know what they're doing. But it's nice to know a little bit about what you're doing. So Zen mind, beginner's mind. So I'm going to be gone traveling in Utah for 3 weeks, and during that time, the focus is going to be on Zen mind, beginner's mind. This wonderful, amazing little book and teachings of Suzuki Roshi, which you can, even if you've looked at it 100 million times, you'll go back, and my experience is you always hear it in a new way, and different Sangha members will be coming forward to teach and hold the space. So please, as always, show up for each other. I saw that there was one question about posture. I knew if I did posture, questions would come up. I'll give Christine a minute here. Here's a story that came to me. Is when I first came to Zen Center, and I was 26, and you know, we were in our 20s, we were in our 30s, most of us, and we were all doing this new thing. One of the things that would happen is it must have been the teacher, and there weren't very many of them back then, would sometimes go around during Zazen and quote, correct posture, which was actually, I loved it. It was so sweet because there was this kind of firmness and tenderness where somebody would come up and touch your back and help you bring your spine up and touch your shoulders so that you'd remember that you didn't need your shoulders up around your ears. And I mean, it was never like, it was just always felt deeply encouraging. I loved it. So when Norman Fisher started Everyday Zen 26, or in the year 2020, 2000, or around about there, I and maybe others said, would you do that? Because what a great offering. So he kind of reluctantly did it one day, and this is my memory, and he came back after he'd done it and he said, I am never going to do that again. Because I think this is the way I would explain it, is we all have it's like this template that we're given, and then our bodies enter it and find our own way, and we all have our own body karma too. So it's a way to wake up in the midst of it, but because Everyday Zen was more quote mature practitioners, is even that gentle suggestion that it should change in some way felt intrusive. So this is, please, use Suzuki Roshi's words, use the Buddha's posture, use this amazing vessel and vehicle, and find your own body and heart and mind in the center of it. And there's just great truth you can notice. It's like you pull your chin in. It's really if you walk into a zendo, and I mean, somebody's meditating really hard, but their chin is, I mean, you just, people are dreaming when your chin goes up. But it's just a slight adjustment. Just tuck it. I mean, you could just try it right now. Just gently, don't force it. Just tuck it in. And then feel like what it's like when your head drifts up. These are all really subtle things that, yeah, look at Marilyn. I mean, it's subtle and it's endless. So the main thing is pay attention. We've been given this, and that's why this beautiful Buddha posture sits on the altar. Did you want to say something, Christine?
So my introduction to Zazen was at Upaya Zen Center in the 90s with Roshi Joan. And I had been doing Vipassana and no one corrected me. And then all of a sudden I had her sitting behind me every time I sat Zazen. And she pretty much just said, don't move. Don't move. She didn't correct me any other way. So I felt like I didn't really know what I was doing. And I still feel like I do and I don't. But the question that I have has to do with the universal mudra, and I've always let it sit in my lap.
Yeah.
And it seems like if it's actually right in front of my navel, there's a lift of the arms and the shoulders going back. And it seems like, oh, maybe this is actually easier.
Oh.
But I don't know if I was at Sesshin, how long I would be happy to do that. But I just want to know that, if my thumbs are really at my navel, I do have to lift my arms a little bit and engage my arms, and especially with the eggs underneath the arm. So just a question about that, once and for all.
So once and for all, let me tell you the right way. So that don't move, I mean, that's a kind of Zen thing, and Suzuki Roshi probably don't move. And I know in the beginning that don't move thing, people got hurt. People took it in a way, I mean, people really injured themselves. Don't move. That is not a don't move. It's a koan. What is it? Don't move. And the posture I'm not criticizing Roshi Joan. I'm just telling you my own experiences. People got hurt and traumatized in situations where it felt more kind of top down as opposed to find out what this means. Sit with it. Sit with your body, heart, and mind. I will just experiment, feel it. I'll just do a confession. Is that I sit with my hands resting gently, not in my lap, but they rest gently, and I've always felt a little guilty. Like, am I being lazy? Because this has a different feeling to it. Again, experiment with it, and then maybe I made this up, but. Because Norman Fisher was avid of Zen Center, and Zen Center is, I sometimes say it's the Vatican of Zen. It's like it's the training center, and I'm pretty sure, I don't think I made this up, is that when he gave Zazen instruction, he said something about letting your hands rest. So yeah.
Well, just about that, letting them rest and the conundrum, but I have my own little cheat. No. I usually, not here, but at home and when I go to everyday Zen, I have a little cushion. Yeah. Constance made it for me. Yeah. And I rest my hands on it because I find with arthritis and things that now nice. I can't put it up, but there is something that helps me a bit to have it up a little and actually helps my shoulders. So I rested on a little cushion.
Sweet. So again, take the instructions. So this is going to lead us into don't put another head on top of your own. When we're studying Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind during these next few weeks, take it in and keep asking, what is it and how is it in your own life, in your own breath, and your own body? And that's why you keep coming back to it. Is when I read it now, I read it differently. It goes in differently than it did 30 years ago. Or it's alive, and your posture is alive. So please find out for yourself. The Buddha never said believe this because I told you to believe it. It's like, find out. Your body is, what an amazing vessel and vehicle you have to find out what it feels to sit, because the intent is sit grounded and upright and present right here in this moment. Steady, stable, present. You can feel it. This isn't, we're not doing this because it's a should. We're doing it because it's a way to live. And I personally love this way of living.
Can I add one thing?
Uh-huh.
The other piece of it is not to necessarily always seeking comfort, because that's nowhere to.
Yes, thank you. That's an important, not to always be seeking comfort. So that's, and I'll just say just a moment of this is, and maybe it'll come through in what I'm going to do. Maybe one way to say it is the general instruction is, or recommendation is that if you feel a pain in your knee, or you feel like you need to move, or take 3 breaths before you do it. Because otherwise it's all just reactive behavior. It's like, it hurts, I want to get away from it. I'm uncomfortable. So we just learn to stay a little bit longer and more deeply and more fully in discomfort. We are not trying to be comfortable, in case you think the world is ever going to get comfortable. But we can find, and who said this? I can't remember. Is just rest in the spaciousness of mind. This is a restful posture, and it's completely upright. Yeah.
There's a saying some old Zen master said, maybe you know the name, or someone does, that, when everyone's in the meditation hall, it's like you put them in a bamboo tube and see how they wriggle. And that the more they're dressed alike and the more they're trying to assume the same posture, the more individual they become.
I may read that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just a little short commentary, and then I want to pay attention to is I used to. You may know about me at this point that I do a lot of resisting. It's like snake in a bamboo tube. Don't you put my snake in a bamboo tube. And now I think, a snake in a bamboo tube, because now I feel like I know my snake body in a way that I never would have known. It's like it's alive. And there were periods where, and you pay attention, where it felt to me like whatever I thought putting a snake in a bamboo tube was actually deadening. And you stay with it and you keep going, because there's an aliveness that arises out of these forms that are, you just bow and pay attention. Because of course your habitual patterns is, if you want to get it right, that's how you do things, and that's how you're going to do this, and then something will happen. But if it's like anyway, whatever, you're going to bring your karma to it no matter what you do. Pay attention and learn. Wake up. Okay? So I realized I gave a talk on Tuesday about Suzuki Roshi, because I had this feeling like, if we're going to study Suzuki Roshi's teachings, we don't have the advantage of a flesh and blood person here, which is the real teaching. It's the direct teaching. It's the embodied teaching that you learn in relationship. And but we have Suzuki Roshi's words and his encouragements, and hopefully we can feel him and let it enter our body and our cells and our hearts and our minds. And I realized that actually one of my, I love Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, and Not Always So, but one of my most favorite books it's now called Zen is Right Here, Teaching Stories and Antidotes of Suzuki Roshi. And David Chadwick put this together. It used to be called, and I'm sorry, but I like the other one better than this one, but this one's fine. It's the same book, To Shine One Corner of the World. And they're just anecdotes about people meeting Suzuki Roshi and what they remember long after he died, because often it's the thing, something happens and it doesn't make, why that? But it changes your whole life. So I want to just read you. We're going to be here for several hours. Is that okay? No. I'm just going to turn these and I'm just going to read some of them, and who knows which ones will come out. I'm going to trust that it will be exactly perfectly imperfect. Just a way for us to get to know Suzuki Roshi. One day at Tassajara, Suzuki Roshi and a group of students took some tools and walked up a hot, dusty trail to work on a project. When they got to the top, they discovered they had forgotten a shovel, and the students began to discuss about who should return to get it. After the discussion had ended, they realized that Roshi wasn't there. He was already halfway down the mountain trail on his way to pick up the shovel. See, now that makes me cry. One day, I complained to Suzuki Roshi about the people I was working with. I'll bet that never happens in your mind. He listened intently, and finally he said, "If you want to see virtue, you have to have a calm mind." That's so different than the 100 million ways you could say that with judgment or shaming or I find all of these just infinitely kind. A student of Suzuki Roshi's, a publisher of beat poetry, saw his teacher for a year and a half in a private interview. He said that he couldn't continue, that every time he said zazen, he started to cry. "I can't take it," he said. "I'm leaving. I can't be here anymore." Suzuki did not tell him to stay. He merely said, "You try and you try and you fail, and then you go deeper." I love this one. These stories are like so deep in my body. And then something happens and like you remember it. It's like, oh, it's different, but it's happening all over again. Of course it is. During a break in one of the early sessions at Sokoji, a student returning to his seat early straightened a picture on the wall before he sat down on his cushion. Only he and Suzuki Roshi were in the zendo at the time. After a moment, Suzuki got up to leave the room. He walked down the aisle, stopped at the picture, returned it to its crooked position, and continued out the door.
Of course.
It's a great that's a great posture story. Often it says he laughed as he went out the door, but the student asked, "Does a Zen master suffer in a different way than his students suffer?" Let me just say, is in the beginning, in the beginning of, I wasn't there at the very beginning of Zen Center, but I was there close enough. We called the teacher Roshi, and we had lots of projections about what this perfect person. And the great thing is this perfect person made some pretty big mistakes and fell from grace. And then we all had to reevaluate, who and what is this teacher, and what are we doing here? And for me, and I think for many of us, it was where we all grew up into spiritual maturity, is we learned from each person. Teachers are, I am a flawed, deluded human being. I just think everybody should say that more. And I'm also a Buddha waking up to be a Buddha, just like you. So, why am I saying that? Oh, so we would think things like, does a Zen master suffer in a different way than his students suffer? Suzuki answered, in the same way. If not, I don't think he is good enough. And we can take the pronouns and change them, as I've tried changing them in the moment, and some people like it and some people don't, so I'm just going to stick with it. During his first dokusan, a student said he couldn't stop thinking during meditation. Don't think. Think non-thinking. Stop, stop. Suzuki Roshi said, is there some problem with thinking? It's so open-handed and kind and clear all the way through. One day, during a tea break, a student standing next to Suzuki Roshi said, so what do you think about all of us crazy Zen students? And people back then really, I mean, we're all crazy. I mean, you know, what, I mean, I'm sure we're all fine. I mean, it was the 70s. People were acting out, but there was a lot of craziness going on. I'm doing that in quotes. Suzuki Roshi said, I think you're all enlightened until you open your mouth. Do you ever feel that way? It's like, oh my God, look at that beautiful person. I love that person so much, or a kid, and then they open their mouth and you go, ah! or yourself, like, whoa, did I just say that? Next to the temple on Bush Street was a grocery store run by an old woman. Suzuki Roshi used to buy the old vegetables there. Finally, one day the woman said, here are some fresh ones, why don't you take them? The fresh ones will be bought anyway, he answered her. I also sort of remember someplace hearing that he'd bring home all these old vegetables and it would drive his wife crazy. It's like, what are you doing? During one session at Tassajara, it was very cold in the unheated zendo. I'll say it can also be very hot in unair-conditioned zendos. This is part of the practice. After a lecture, a student said, Roshi, I thought you said that when it got cold, we'd figure out how to stay warm within our zazen. Suzuki Roshi said, it's just not cold enough yet. Just stay with it. Practice. Hot Buddha, cold Buddha. Now and then Suzuki Roshi would make this point. In the Lotus Sutra, Buddha says to light up one corner, not the whole world. Just make it clear where you are. Just make it clear where you are. On a visit to the East Coast, Erica has some great stories about this too, of meeting Suzuki Roshi once that's similar to this. On a visit to the East Coast, Suzuki Roshi arrived at the meeting place of the Cambridge Buddhist Society to find everyone scrubbing down the interior in anticipation of his visit. They were surprised to see him because he had written that he would arrive on the following day. He tied back the sleeves of his robe and insisted on joining the preparations for, quote, the grand day of my arrival. I just trust this human being. A student asked Suzuki Roshi if he kept an eye on his students to see if they were following the precepts, the Buddhist guidelines of conduct. I don't pay attention to whether you're following the precepts or not, he answered. I just notice how you are with each other. Here's a good posture one, sort of. Suzuki Roshi usually encouraged me because I was so down on myself, but once after a one-day sitting for the first time, I was feeling proud of myself. Good posture, good ma, you know. I went to him and said, now I can count every breath. What do I do next? He leaned forward and he said to me fiercely, don't ever think that you can sit Zazen. That's a big mistake. Zazen sits Zazen. It's a koan. Find out what it means. A woman told Suzuki Roshi she found it difficult to mix Zen practice with the demands of being a housewife. I feel I am trying to climb a ladder, but for every step upward, I slip backwards 2 steps. Forget the ladder, Suzuki Roshi told her. In Zen, everything is right here on the ground. At a Sakoji lecture, a distraught woman said she had been rejected by a Zen teacher in Los Angeles. I think, this is my commentary, is that in the beginning, in the same way that we were strict and people got hurt because we just didn't know any better in terms of baby understanding about practice. I think people got hurt in relationships with teachers and probably with each other in terms of standards. I always loved the Sandokai, don't set up standards on your own. And there's a standard, but practice it. She said, and now you reject me. Oh no, Suzuki said with sincere sympathy in his voice. You can stay here. And with his arms opened and long robe sleeves gracefully hanging at his side, he took a step towards her and added, I never reject anybody. I never reject anybody. May our Sangha remember that always. May we remember that in terms of our own, who are you rejecting in here? Pay attention, welcome them in.
Seems like he's all about love.
Yep. And he's strict. I mean, he's not saying do whatever you want, but that's the amazing thing, is how he does it. This one, when we were just down at Tassajara, I think maybe I told Marilyn or someone, because I always think of it every time I walk across the bridge at Tassajara. There was a big boulder in the Tassajara Creek that Suzuki Roshi said he wanted for his rock garden. Every day, 4 or 5 of us went down to the creek during the silent work period and struggled to move the boulder by various devices and means. Oh, actually, this is a different story than the one I thought. Each one of us was secure in the knowledge that somehow we were going to move that stone to his rock garden, which was quite a distance away. After a week, the rock hadn't budged. But no one was about to break the silence or give up. One day, Suzuki Roshi came down to the creek and struggled along with us. Some visitors called down from the bridge to ask what we were doing. Suzuki Roshi called up, we don't know. It's like picking children. I don't know which, like Sophie's Choice, which one? During a lecture, Suzuki Roshi had said that life was impossible. If it's impossible, how can we do it? A student asked. You do it every day, Suzuki answered. One evening in a lecture, Suzuki Roshi said, if you're not Buddhist, you think there are Buddhists and non-Buddhists. But if you are Buddhist, you realize everybody's a Buddhist, even the bugs. This is one, we did a vigil, I guess it was just last night. I'm sort of in timeless time these days. And one of the people said, because we had to move it to a park instead of at Courthouse Square during the summer because of the farmer's market, and someone said, there haven't been as many people in the park as there have been at Courthouse Square. And the people who are there are nodding. And see, I just don't think that has anything to do with it. I mean, it does on one level. And what I said was, it doesn't matter whether it's one person or 1,000 people, you just show up. And I actually think that they've matured, the vigils have matured in this time in a way that's different under the trees and in the grass. And so, you know, whatever you're counting and thinking that's your standard, take a breath. Soon after she arrived in America to join her husband, Suzuki Roshi's wife said, why do you work so hard preparing for lecture? It's raining, and the last night that it rained, only 2 people came. This is Suzuki Roshi. I hope the 10 come tonight. And he answered, 1 or 10, it makes no difference. You just show up. God, these are all so good. I'm sorry, I don't want to skip them. While driving my teacher to the city center from Tassajara, I said, Suzuki Roshi, may I ask you a question? And he said, yes. I proceeded to beg him to tell me what I should do to understand reality, to become enlightened. I told him that I was totally dedicated and that whatever he told me, I would do. I went on and on, making sure that he was thoroughly aware of my sincerity and devotion. I turned to him for an answer, and he was sound asleep. I'm sorry, these stories just make me laugh.
Is it true that he was like 4'11"? I read that somewhere.
Of children, or?
That he was 4'11"?
Oh, he was, yeah, I think he was a little guy. I mean,
Really
physically,
funny.
yeah.
He doesn't sleep.
Oh, here's a good one in terms of posture. In the old days, during sesshin, Suzuki Roshi would encourage us not to change posture while sitting. He would say, don't move. Don't chicken out. But he also said, when I say don't move, it doesn't mean you can't move. How do you hold the tension of the opposites? How do we sit right in the middle? Not one, not two. No. Okay, I'm going to skip some. I can do this. A group of us had lunch with Suzuki Roshi in New York City. People were wondering how we should treat this religious man and how we should act. Very early on in the lunch, he put a napkin on his head and sat there with it. Then we all put our napkins on our heads. He made everybody feel comfortable. Don't take yourself too seriously. One day I complained to Suzuki Roshi that my mind would not be still. It chattered at me constantly during Zazen. When your back gets straight, your mind will become quiet, he answered. Find out. What's he mean? Oh, here's the one where he laughed. Oh, okay. One day during a lecture, a stranger sat in zazen posture in the front, very close to Suzuki Roshi. He mimicked Roshi's movements, made weird facial expressions and threatening gestures. He blew towards the candle burning behind Suzuki Roshi. Suzuki Roshi took no notice of him. When Roshi got up to leave, he did his usual bows, turned, then whirled back and quickly blew out the candle. He walked up the aisle laughing to himself. Here's a good one. I found this really encouraging. I'll do a confession. Is sometimes I love our website and I love Shelley. She's amazing, and it's so full of color. And sometimes I look at other Zen websites and I think, you know, it's like black and white and maybe a little red, and I mean they're very subdued. And I think, are we too colorful? So here's I like this. A student asked Suzuki Roshi what he thought American Zen would be like in the future. Very colorful.
Oh, yay.
So,
Alive.
alive, yes. The handwritten note from Suzuki Roshi. Do not say too late. Do not say too late. That one's helped me lots of times. Just right straight ahead, just keep going. That's actually the last one in the book. Just follow one thing all the way through.
Oh, Chris,
Yeah,
in the back of the book,
yeah.
that character says now.
Now? It's a beautiful figure. So how about, because I said we were going to end a little early, and what if you just sit for a moment, and what's one word? I mean, if you're like me, you'll cheat and do 2 or 3, but no, I'm being funny, sort of, maybe. But what's one word that comes to you, that arises for you about as you listen to these teachings, that you might carry with you as a question and a koan and a guidance?